What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Clairvoyant Audio Files. My name is Levi, and I am rolling solo today. I wanted to get out a new pickups video. It's been a while since we'd done a video together, Tommy, and I figured our next video is probably going to be on the topic of Ozzy Osbourne, which I wanted to get into first. Rest in peace to the Prince of Darkness, man. I mean, we never thought we would ever see this day. I know passing away is inevitable for everybody, but it's weird when it happens to someone so iconic, and we lost two icons within 2 days of each other. We lost Ozzy Osbourne, and then 2 or 3 days later we lost Hulk Hogan. And yeah, the people throw the word controversial around, but as a performer, Hulk Hogan was one of the greatest of all time. I mean, you can't take that away from him. He was a huge draw. Technical wrestler, no. He was a big draw, and a big professional wrestling I don't think would be what it is today without Hulk Hogan. And music wouldn't be what it is today without Ozzy Osbourne. We'll talk about it in probably our next episode, like I said, but without Black Sabbath, you got to kind of wonder what metal and hard music looks like, you know, because there was, referencing the movie Metal: A Headbanger's Journey, you got Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath, and those are kind of the paths that people took with music. So anyways, rest in peace to the two icons that we lost in the same week, in the same couple, you know, in the same 72 hours. Rest in peace to Ozzy, and rest in peace to Hulk Hogan. You guys will be missed more than you could ever imagine. So today, let's get into some pickups. It's been a while since we did an episode, and I wanted to bang out a solo pickups episode because I know it would take quite a bit of time, and plus you get a nice, when we're not doing the Zoom call, you kind of get the HD camera here of my phone, of course, because I'm super professional. I think I got 9 or so, but yeah, I wanted to just start rolling through the pickups and what I've been grabbing recently and adding to the shelf. As you can see, the shelf's kind of leaning there. Don't have a ton of vinyl, but that's what we're here for. We're here to collect. So first, this one's actually unopened still. I haven't opened it and listened to it yet, but a recent pickup, Iron Maiden, No Prayer for the Dying. Needed to get this in the collection to finish the 80s, I believe. Yeah, I do need a new copy of Peace of Mind because I got an OG that has a big scratch on it, but there you go, No Prayer for the Dying, and it does have the original cover, not the one without the guy on it. So, you know, it's usually at the bottom of most Maiden lists, and this is the first album without Adrian Smith, and you get Yannick Gers on it. But, you know, Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter, that's a cool song. Mother Russia, the title track. It's a very like kind of rock and roll Iron Maiden album, but it is, you can tell the inspiration, like after they put out the monster that was Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, and even before that, just the run of the 80s, you know, the wells kind of got to dry up at some point, and it wasn't necessarily dry, but it was, you can tell the creative juices were, man, they were just wore down by the time they did the album. But yeah, I'll probably actually listen to it today, so you'll see a spinning today coming soon on that. Another one I picked up, this was a while back. This was shortly after our last episode. I got The Cure's Disintegration. I now have Wish and Disintegration. So, and it's probably in most people's vinyl collections, The Cure Disintegration. Just a fantastic gothy, poppy, synthwave album. And I think Prayers for Rain is always going to be my favorite song off this record. Obviously, Lullaby is just awesome, the vibe of it. But Prayers for Rain, there's something about it. It just makes me want to enjoy a rainy day. So the Disintegration, and I grabbed it because I've been meaning to get it. And the Cure albums, you know, they're typically around $40, but I think Amazon had it for like 20, 22, 24 one day, so I just had to do it. Pre-passing of Ozzy Osbourne, I grabbed Black Sabbath Sabotage from my local record store. This is the 2015 master or 2015 re-release, whichever one it is. I love Sabotage. Black Sabbath was going through some issues with the label at this time, and it was hence the title, you know, Sabotage. They felt that way. Hole in the Sky, Symptom of the Universe, 2 of the heaviest Black Sabbath songs, Megalomania, Thrill of It All. There's a lot of good tracks on this record, but Hole in the Sky and Symptom of the Universe always do it for me. Continuing on the path of Black Sabbath, this one was actually post Ozzy's passing. I went to my local Barnes & Noble and was surprised to find a copy of Paranoid, because if anybody has gotten on Amazon or eBay recently, it's hard to get your hands on a 2-day shipping Ozzy or Black Sabbath album. They all sold out almost instantly when he passed away. And so to find a copy of Paranoid at Barnes & Noble, I kind of almost had to get it because it was basically what it would have been at Amazon anyway. I can't remember what the edition is here. This one says 2016 on the back, so it's probably the same kind of era of pressing as the Sabotage one. Here's one that was a fun grab for me. As you know, I have Megadeth 13, and this is another one that was kinda, it's not necessarily like a super rare album, but I don't, if I'm correct, and someone can say it in the comments, I don't know if there's an American pressing of this record. This one is the Argentinian pressing of Megadeth Endgame, their 2009 album. And this is the 2019 remaster, it looks like. Or I think they remastered, yeah, 2019 remaster, something like that. Anyways, Endgame, it's a fun record to listen to. It was pre-13, I think it's the album right before that. Or Super Collider was before 13, maybe. I can't remember. But anyways, I kind of had my eye out on it for eBay for a while, and I ended up picking up, I think, like 35 bucks or something, which is not bad because I've seen this album go for a lot more because it's, I'll have to check my facts, but Argentina and one other country I think it was pressed in, but I don't know, I can't remember if there was an American version or not. I have to check on Discogs. And then another one that popped up, Megadeth-wise, as a deal on Amazon, Peace Sells. This has almost always been 30 bucks on Amazon, and I texted Tommy and was like, dude, Peace Sells is like 15 bucks on Amazon right now. So we had to get Peace Sells because it's Peace Sells. But who's buying? We gotta have Rest in Peace. That's gotta be next for me. Dystopia, stuff like that. Megadeth's it's kind of all over the place on vinyl. Can't necessarily get your hands on all of it. Some of it's tough to get a hold of. So anyways, Peace Sells is easy because it's a very popular album. Next up, this is a fun one too. Tommy has this, and he has a great story about his. And I managed to win an eBay auction on Kiss Hot in the Shade. So I do have an original pressing of Kiss Hot in the Shade. It's the club, BMG Direct Club. Like, it was part of the BMG Club or something. You get the pressings back in the day. I could be wrong. Interject if I'm wrong. But anyways, it is an OG pressing of Hot in the Shade. And I got it for, you know, a pretty good amount of money. The only downside to this is side B, it's like an off-center pressing. So when it's playing, the needle kind of moves like this. There's a little bit, some spots are worse than others, a little bit of a bow wow. You know, detuning while you're listening to it, but otherwise side A is fine. Side B just has that, but I can live with it to own the record. So not the, you know, obviously not the greatest Kiss record, I guess, but I kind of like it. Like, I think some of the tracks on it are pretty cool. Rise to It, and then of course Hide Your Heart is just super catchy. So anyways, I do have, that's probably my most valuable record now, is Kiss Hot in the Shade, as an early collector. And then this was part of a 3-album pickup that I got, but I finally got my Metallica studio albums aside from Garage Days. I got my studio albums all on vinyl, aside from Garage Days, like I said. Because it's studio, but it's covers, whatever. But I got Saint Anger. I saved it for last. But I got it at a discounted rate because during Prime Day, Amazon was doing some kind of buy three for the price of 2. And so instead of like the $35, $40 that Saint Anger usually is, it was like $24. So that was good because it's a bit of a turd. So, I mean, it's a fun listen. Like, it's just, I don't know. I like Frantic and all that, but yeah, the snare drum just sounds, it is the snare, and the writing was so, I don't know. I'll do a separate episode on Saint Anger sometime, the ups and downs, or just downs of Saint Anger. Also part of that 3 albums that I grabbed, I got Pantera, Reinventing the Steel. And also part of those 3 albums, I did forget to mention No Prayer for the Dying was one of those 3. Saint Anger, No Prayer for the Dying, and Pantera, Reinventing the Steel. It's my first Pantera vinyl I bought, but the reason being is I got it on that discount. So it's funny, I actually got the 3 albums. I bought the 3 for the price of 2 off Amazon. I kind of got, not that Pantera has a bad album, not that Iron Maiden has a bad album, and Saint Anger's not great, obviously, but I kind of got the lesser favorites of 3 different discographies. But this is my first Pantera album on vinyl. I have Far Beyond Driven on CD. I wanted to get Cowboys or Far Beyond Driven, Vulgar Display of Power on vinyl, but this one was one of the only ones that counted towards that whole deal of buy 3 for the price of 2. So I got Reinventing the Steel. Cool album though. I mean, I don't think there's any bad Pantera songs per se. And then these two are actually my most recent pickups. This is one that when I was out looking for some Oz, I found Bark at the Moon 40th anniversary with the cobalt blue vinyl at my local record store as well. And damn, man. Ultimate Sin, I know it might be an unpopular opinion, but that's my favorite Ozzy record. But dude, Bark at the Moon's really good. I forget because I don't listen to it in full a whole lot. But after I've spun it twice now, and it's a really great album. And that Bark at the Moon, the riff, the drum fill, Now You See It, Now You Don't, with the synthy thing, and they added some synth and stuff to this album. It's a really cool record. So I'm happy to have the 40th anniversary of this. And I will say locally, I don't see any price hikes on the Ozzy stuff currently. So, and then last but definitely not least, probably my favorite Kiss album, Creatures of the Night. Found the half-speed remaster for $25, so I had to grab it. I've been on the lookout for it for a while. I think I have one on my watch list on eBay, Creatures half-speed remaster, but I found it in person and was just like, okay, I have to do it. Because it's almost always $30 or $35 when you see it out in the wild. And so I was like, you know what, it's just time to add it to the collection. So I now have Creatures of the Night, and I'm stoked about it. I've listened to it once. I listened to side one like 2 or 3 times because just at home, dealing with a child, things kept happening and I couldn't get to side 2, so I finally got to side 2. And anyways, I love Creatures of the Night. So that is my pickups as of recently, and we'll be back with more, of course, but I just wanted to get those out of the way and do a nice solo video of what I've been listening to, I've been working on. Obviously I think everybody will be now, but like the Black Sabbath and Ozzy discography, I think we all kind of want to dive into that now. And oddly enough, pre-passing, I grabbed Sabotage, and I was like, well, I need to start getting all the Black Sabbath and Ozzy stuff. And I think Tommy got into some of it too. He'll do an episode eventually, but yeah, I'm gonna collect all that to honor the Oz man, and just because it's phenomenal music. That's mostly what I've been listening to lately, mostly his solo stuff. Some of the newer stuff I hadn't really listened to. So yeah, that's where we're at with the pickups. I've added, how many was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. That's 11 total since our last episode. So I had 9, and then I got the Creatures of the Night and Bark at the Moon, and so that's why I was thinking 9. But yeah, so until next time, I hope you enjoyed the video. That's what I'm spinning. Tell me what you're spinning in the comments. Tell me if my pickups suck, or if I suck, or if you like the content, whatever. And we'll be back with a duo episode soon. Like I said, I think we're gonna do a tribute to Ozzy Osbourne episode, or just an hour long, just riffing on Ozzy and, what he meant to us and what he meant to music and how big of a deal it is that we no longer have him with us. But Ozzy lives on forever now through music because, as I said in the beginning, I think without him, music is a different place, especially hard music, heavy music is a different place. So, and that's not, we obviously, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, Bill Ward, that's a big part of that's Black Sabbath. Without those guys, you don't have that tone of Black Sabbath. But Ozzy was the voice, and he was a Prince of Darkness, and he did some pretty wild shit in his days, man. He was pretty crazy. So yeah, that's my vinyl pickups. That's where we're at in the world right now. And thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. Like, subscribe. Like I said, tell me in the comments what you think about this, what you think about my pickups recently. What have you been listening to? What are you looking to pick up? Are you looking for Ozzy's discography too, or are you working on something else? Yeah. Until next time, tell your friends, tell your enemies, and we'll see you then.